Welcome to another episode of Nightingale College's podcast called Nursing and Nutrition. In this episode tonight, we are going to be talking about things that we need to achieve a healthy diet. And remember, sometimes that doesn't always mean we're going to exclude things. There's often other things your patients can add to the things that they're eating to make the foods that they're eating healthier. So, for example, maybe you could encourage a patient to add a vegetable to their lunch or dinner meal rather than having just a sandwich as that meal. Now, there are two terms that we talk about a lot when we look at achieving a healthy diet. And this episode will focus on defining these two terms and giving you some examples. The first term we're going to focus on is called nutrient density. Now, nutrient density means how many nutrients, so things vitamins, minerals, fiber, how many of those nutrients are in a food. So if I was to have maybe two foods that I was comparing, say I have a 100-calorie serving of French fries and a 100-calorie serving of a baked potato, and I was comparing them, the baked potato would be more nutrient dense because the French fries lose some of their nutrients while they are being processed. So the baked potato would actually have more nutrients. If you think of the skin that's on there, that would have more fiber um, because it's also contained, right? It's going to have more of those vitamins, minerals in it, where the French fries might have lost some of that nutrition in that processing that was done. So the baked potato would be more nutrient dense than the French fries. And that's even if we had 100 calories of each. There would just be more nutrients in the baked potato than in the French fries. Okay. Another example that might be helpful too is if we think of the number of nutrients that are in maybe a slice of 100% whole wheat bread versus how many nutrients are in a slice of white enriched flour bread. So there's more nutrition in the 100% whole wheat bread. So that bread, that one serving, that slice, is more nutrient dense than that one slice of white bread. Okay, so just to give you an example to consider for that as well, we want to encourage our patients to eat nutrient dense foods, unless, of course, there is a medical diagnosis that has a certain eating plan attached to it. Often when I hear patients tell me, oh, I just don't think I'm eating enough fiber, the more nutrient dense foods that they tend to eat, often I find it's a little bit easier for them to reach their fiber goal at the same time. Now, energy density is another term that we consider when we look at achieving a healthy diet. So, energy density is how much energy or how many calories are in a food item. So, if I was to have maybe like an ice cream sundae that I was holding right here for you to see, that ice cream sundae is going to be very energy dense or very high in calories because you've got the ice cream, you've got the hot fudge, maybe some whipped cream, and let's say there's a cherry on top too. Sprinkles if you care for that as well. But that's going to have more energy in that than, say, a glass of milk. So if I was to compare energy density wise, the ice cream sundae has more energy or more calories in it than a glass of milk. Okay. So, and that doesn't mean that energy density is bad, because remember, we still need calories to function. If we don't have calories, we don't function. So, and sometimes you might even have a patient who maybe has a malabsorption issue and needs to eat more calories to maintain their weight. Or maybe you have a patient who is needing to gain weight in order to be healthy. So, know that energy density still has space when we talk about achieving a healthy diet, and it is appropriate for us to eat enough calories so that way we can function. We'll discuss more about what happens when you don't eat enough calories when we discuss the eating disorder section. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you being here for this episode. Take care and flame forward.